This is my audience today. There's Christian on there. All right. My name is Tanner Engelhardt, and this is my analysis of George Bush's post 9/11 speech. Do you remember exactly what you were doing the day of 9/11 and when it happened? I don't know how I remember, but I was in preschool at Child's Way. I was about 4 years old, and I remember kind of looking around the corner and seeing my teachers watching a screen and kind of freaking out, and I saw the towers on there, all full of smoke and everything, and I don't know how I remember that, but it's just something that stuck with me. So it definitely has left an impact, and it's one of the things that I just remember long term. George Bush's post 9/11 speech made a great and memorable impact on America. He spoke from the heart and touched many lives by spreading hope and comfort among the nation. George Walker Bush was born into quite the family. He was born to Barbara and Herbert Walker Bush, George H.W., who was the 41st president of the United States, and then George Walker Bush became the 43rd. They're the second duo of father-son combination to become presidents and lead the country. The first was John Quincy Adams and John Adams, father-son as well. The Bush family was very into the political world, had a lot of influence on decisions in America, very wealthy. His younger brother, Jeb Bush, was also the former governor of Florida, so also political background, and ran for president more recently. George Bush won a very controversial election against Al Gore. In his election, it was kind of a rare instance to where George Walker Bush won the electoral vote, but Al Gore won the popular vote. So it was one of those rare instances, and was very controversial, and a lot of people didn't agree with it. So only 8 months into his term, George Bush was forced to deal with the consequences of 9/11. On September 11th, 2001, the terrorist group of Al-Qaeda launched a terrorist attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. This attack on American soil shocked the world. It was the first major terrorist attack that we had seen. It was still to this day, it was the largest attack, and more lives were lost and injured than any other event that we've had. The series of attacks took the lives of 2,996 people. 19 of them were the hijackers that hijacked the planes and crashed into the Pentagon and the Twin Towers. This event changed the security of our nation together. To this day, you still see the intense security in airports and all other kinds of events because of this event, because we can't trust anyone these days, and it's sad, but that's what it's come to. In an attempt to comfort the nation, Bush speaks to America straight out of his Oval Office after the event. He talks about how the economy will not be disrupted and how we're going to stay strong and how it won't mess up the foundation of America. He speaks with great empathy and passion, however backs it up with America's unyielding anger of the attacks. We were very distraught. We didn't know what had just happened with the attacks. A lot of people were confused. We were angry, but he also had to use comforting words to stay that strong figure and the president that everybody looks up to. He begins the speech with a brief summary about just the events that had happened, the lives that were lost, kind of the issues that they were dealing with. He then mentions his grievances for the victims of the attack and ensures that America will not be set back. He just let everybody know how sorry he is for the children, the families, everybody that was dealing with the issues, but that foundation of America will stay strong. And in his post 9/11 speech by President Bush that was shown on live television around the nation, he states that terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, like the Twin Towers, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. I love this quote because it gives a sense of security. Although the attack was tragic, it couldn't shake America, and it still hasn't to this day. It's been memorable, but we still are who we are. Lastly, ends a speech with ensuring that justice will be served to the terrorists and to the terrorist group and everything like that, who was behind the attack. And so he also included in his speech from the attack on September 11, 2001, live from the Oval Office, he helps conclude his speech by saying, "And I pray they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us," spoken through the ages of Psalm 23. "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me." We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and for those who harbor them. I like this because he brings our Savior's words into his speech and helps comfort the nation by our Lord, the one who's this. We founded our nation around him, and God we trust. And I think it was a great way to kind of conclude the speech and ensure the nation that God is with us. We all still stand together, and we're going to stand strong through this event and learn from it. In conclusion, I believe that his speech brought a huge sense of nationality back to the people after they were just broken. President Bush did a great job of comforting the nation, but was also strong in his remarks that justice will be served and again comforted everybody. Also, 9/11 will always be remembered as the most deadliest and tragic event on U.S. soil, but will never be forgotten. I used the CNN transcript of his speech as well as the YouTube video of his live speech from that day to put together this presentation and come up with the information that I have. Thank you for listening.